Greetings and welcome to the Victoria Symphony's virtual season. My name is Bob Fraser. I'm a musician in the Victoria Symphony. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the orchestra's bass trombonist. Normally I do pre-concert lectures for all of our concerts, either in the lobby of the Royal Theatre or if we're up at UVic in the Senate chambers. But because this is a virtual season, I'm able to do this a few days in advance and we're able to put this up. So that the concert for this is going to be on October 1st at 7:30 p.m. on the Victoria Symphony's website. Just a few words about this performance. It's been a huge challenge putting music together at this time in a safe fashion. You'll notice that the orchestra is slightly smaller than our regular minimum complement, which is 34 musicians. We'll cut away to a photograph of the rehearsal, and you can see all of the string players nicely spaced out on the stage of the Farquhar Auditorium. We just have the 20 members of the string section plus a harpsichord, and they're going to be performing one of the most popular works and best loved works in all of the orchestral repertoire. That is the set of 4 violin concertos by the 18th century master of the Italian Baroque, Antonio Vivaldi. These are collectively and colloquially known as the Four Seasons. Now, this work is probably known to, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, I'm going to say that practically 90% of our regular audience has heard this piece before. It's popular by any measure of popularity in any era. In fact, a recording of the Four Seasons made by the English violinist Nigel Kennedy in 1989 sold over 2 million copies. So take that, Beyonce. If you do a Google search of the most streamed classical music, you'll find this work there. It appears on practically every single curated playlist of the top 10 pieces of classical music, right up there with the Fifth Symphony of Beethoven, the Serenade Eine kleine Nachtmusik of Mozart, Ravel's Bolero, any of the overtures of Rossini. This is definitely top 10 classical material. Now, why is that? Well, the Four Seasons is a very evocative and very effective piece of what we call program music. And what do I mean by that? Well, all of you know that music can carry a text, as in song or opera, or they can integrate with other art forms like the drama in an opera or a film score or a television soundtrack. A piece of program music is written to portray something, as it were, either a text or an image, but it's meant to do it solely using musical devices alone. So without the benefit of having the actual image or text there. So what do I mean by that? In the case of the Four Seasons, the program, I'm going to put that in air quotes, the program is a set of 4 poems. Each of those is divided into 3 sections that correspond to each of the 3 movements of each concerto. So each of these poems captures a certain aspect of the season, and what Vivaldi's done is he's tried to paint that with the music itself. He's tried to portray that without the text being there. Now, you wouldn't necessarily read these texts while the music is being performed. I suppose you could, but the idea is that the music can portray what's in the poetry in some way. I'll show you an example. We're going to cut away to a piece of the score. And Vivaldi actually wrote a lot of this stuff right into the score. This is the beginning of the 2nd movement of the Spring Concerto. You can see that Vivaldi has put the text of the sonnet right at the top, and its elements, the elements that he wants to portray, are right in the music there itself. The top line of this music, and don't worry if you can't read music, it's not a big deal at this point. And don't worry if you can't read Italian either, I'll translate it for you. The top line says, Il capraro che dorme. And that capraro is a goat herder. So this is depicting a spring scene with a goat herder sleeping in the middle of the meadow. probably taking a midday power nap, right? So there's this little lullaby figure that the goat herder has. In the middle, all those busy black notes are the violins, and it says mormorio de fronde e piante, which means the murmuring of leaves and branches. And you can see that the music sort of undulates. Dee da dee 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 dee. It's the leaves gently blowing in the breeze. For those of you who do read music, you'll notice two letter P's under each of those staves. That means pianissimo. That means played very, very softly. In fact, it says pianissimo sempre, always pianissimo. Now, on the bottom, you have the viola section, and written right above that is il cane che grida, the dog that barks, the dog barking. And you'll see underneath that, you see a little italic letter F, which means forte, which means to play very, very loud. Those of you who don't read music, those of you who do read music, this will be nothing new to you. But he's written a huge direction under there. He's written sempre forte, si deve suonare sempre molto forte e strappato, which means always play this loud. You must always play very loud, and strappato, which means like you're tearing cloth. So he's done these little things to just paint the scene of a poor goat herder trying to take a nap while his dog is barking in the background. So this is just one example of this. This sort of thing is found throughout these pieces. Everything from drunken peasants to chilly frost is depicted in this. Now the opposite of program music is what we call absolute music. Now that's music that doesn't actually refer to anything outside of itself. And musicologists have argued for many, many years whether one is intellectually or aesthetically better than the other. I'm not going to go anywhere near there. This popularity of this piece definitely speaks for itself. And it's something that's best loved by audiences because they can get lost in the flow of time through the seasons. So thank you for indulging me in this little quick intro to the piece. Remember, it's going to be going live on the Victoria Symphony's website, victoriasymphony.ca, October 1st, 7:30 p.m. My colleagues in the string section are so grateful to be able to present this to you. It's hard to believe that it's been almost 7 months since our last live performance for you. We're really, really happy to be able to take this first baby step towards having the whole orchestra on stage and all of you back in the audience. So please enjoy this performance of Vivaldi's Four Seasons, and thank you so much for your support over these last 7 months.